If we could please take our seats, we will begin. Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Baxter,
Here.
Vice Mayor Woodward.
Here.
Commissioner Flores.
Here.
Commissioner Marino.
Here.
Commissioner Powell.
Here.
Commissioner Sachs. Commissioner Weiss.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you are able, please stand for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Dear God, we seek your help with our affairs today. Bless this meeting with your divine intelligence and help us to make the best use of our own. We are of diverse opinion here, yet we wish to reach agreement satisfactory for all. Please share your wisdom with us today and help us to do right by all concerned. Thank you for your heavenly blessing. In Jesus' name, amen. Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions? Mr. Administrator, any additions, deletions, or substitutions?
We do not, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 6-0. Moving on to regular agenda.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see if the motion carries 6-0. And 2 workshop items. We will start with the CDBG Homes and ESG Action Plan for fiscal year 2026 to 27. Good morning.
Apologize, Commissioner Sachs was texting.
No worries.
She wanted something.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mayor,
Good
Vice
morning.
Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator Bruzzo. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today to talk about our annual action plan. I'm Jonathan Brown, the Deputy County Administrator. I have with me Axel Miranda, the Housing Economic Development Director, as well as Alessandra Tasca, our Division Director for our Planning Division. So again, thank you so much. We're coming today to talk to you about the 2026-2027 HUD Annual Action Plan. This particular plan is what we submit to you annually to get your direction before we come and finalize allocations for the upcoming year.
Thank you. Good morning again, Mayor.
Good morning.
Commissioners, Administrator. Thank you, Commissioner. Testing.
Perfect.
Thank you, Commissioner Marino. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator. As Jonathan alluding to, we're here today to provide a program summary, briefly review the resources that have been allocated by the federal agency HUD for these programs, as well as overview of the process that we undertake every year to maintain compliance and determine how we use this funding. We're bringing this workshop to you today for your thoughts and direction, and we'll come back at a later date with a final, but I'll cover next steps towards the end of the presentation today.
Thank you, Axel. So again, as part of the big picture, Housing Economic Development will typically present a 5-year plan. Each of those years within that 5-year consolidated plan is called our annual action plan. So today we're bringing to you the 2026-2027 annual action plan, which identifies the priorities for our HUD-related funding. And some of the things that you will see as we look at some of the housing, community, and economic development initiatives, our goals including expand and preserve affordable housing all the way to the economic development, including job retention, job creation, and other business services. So this annual action plan, again, with the allocations, this year HUD has advised the county that in our community development block grant program, we will receive approximately $6.5 million, which is roughly a $68,000 decrease from the previous year. In our home program, we will receive approximately $2.2 million, a decrease of approximately $53,000 over the current year. And then in our emergency solutions grant, $580,000, a 2% increase. Total HUD allocation to the county through these programs, $9.315 million.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. Jonathan, why the decrease?
Based on how the federal government allocates the dollars, that's why we recognize or see the decreases there. We weren't expecting a decrease. We were expecting at least level funding, but the allocation for this year, and I'm not sure, again, where they are with the overall budget. What we've seen sometimes is that if things change within the budget, when we come back to final, there may be a shift or a change at that point.
And how is it trending over the years?
Trending over the years has been pretty good. This is one of the, even at the $68,000 decrease, it's been roughly around 40, 50,000 decrease, or we've seen some increases. Over the last couple years, it's been pretty level.
Okay, thank you.
And so some of the things that the department has participated in, which includes our input, our funding strategies, and plan development. We've had the stakeholder meetings, we've had the public meetings, we've worked with the community to help determine which recommendations to bring forward to the Board of County Commissioners. As you can see, the number of different stakeholders that have been included in these discussions, as we have worked again to make sure that whatever we brought forward is pretty well rounded and it includes input from all of the key stakeholders. The resources, again, we've talked about the block grant, just some information on the block grant and its eligible activities, the Home Investment Partnership Program and its eligible activities, and the Emergency Solutions Grant. One thing to note with regards to the CDBG and the home, although we can use those dollars for construction because federal dollars typically drive up the cost of construction, we typically use the SHIP dollars, the state dollars, to deal with construction-related projects, whether it's rehab or housing replacement. So although they are eligible activities under CDBG and eligible activities under home, just know as you see us move forward, you won't see many housing-related projects in those particular activities unless it's a large developer-related project. And I'll pass it over to Alessandra.
Good morning, Alessandra Tosca, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and Administrator. Moving on into the next section, we're going to break down each one of those grants into the proposed activities for the following fiscal year, and we welcome any discussion at any point on those. This is a layout of the CDBG allocation and how we propose to distribute it. The main categories are listed on the left-hand side, and these are similar to what has been done in the past. The public services allocation of 15% is standard per what is allowed at the CDBG rules and regulations. Then 12% allocation to economic development activities. The local municipality entitlement category actually comprises both what we calculate and allocate to the various participating municipalities, that's 17%, but then also the special area of hope allocation, which you might be familiar with. It is a board directive that was developed over a decade ago to rotate an extra pot of money amongst the municipalities year over year. So this year, the special area of hope is being assigned to the town of Lantana per that order. And then lastly, 30% is for capital projects by the county in unincorporated areas.
And just a point, Board, with regards to code enforcement, we've heard you, and we'll talk a little bit more about code enforcement going forward, because one of the municipalities that has requested to use their CDBG for code enforcement has been the city of Pahokee. We have had conversations with them. They understand the county's position on needing better enforcement with regards to code enforcement and more teeth in their policies. We're having those conversations with them. Ultimately, depending on the board direction, the city may not receive those dollars for code enforcement, but understand that there are a number of different ways the cities can use those dollars. It's code enforcement is how they asked to use those dollars.
And Jonathan, just for a brief update, since you brought up Pahokee, just confirming that all 40 families have been rehomed.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And I did notice the new city manager for Pahokee. If you'd like to come up and say a few words, we were able to get in touch after our last meeting and had some conversations, so welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I have a statement that I would like to read, and then if you have questions, I will answer those questions as well.
Thank you. Please proceed. Please state your name for the record.
It is. My name is Brenda Bryant. I recently assumed the role of city manager for the city of Pahokee. I appear before you today to provide a clear and accountable update regarding the property located at 169 Adams Place, commonly known as the Parker Building, and to outline the decisive actions the city is taking and have taken to respond to the circumstances that led to the displacement of 40 of our residents. From the outset, I want to be unequivocal that the city of Pahokee is treating this matter with the highest level of urgency, accountability, and intention. We recognize the seriousness of what has occurred, and we are committed not only to addressing this situation, but to ensure that it is not repeated. To that end, the city is finalizing a comprehensive timeline of all prior actions relating to this property. Please know that there is a long history of code enforcement actions that have been taken, but because the building is not demolished, it appears from the history that residents keep coming back to conditions that worsen over time. Our review of this matter has already served to strengthen our internal system. We are also in the process of compiling a long list of actions that have been taken over several years to share with our community, with our county partners. Simultaneously, we are implementing targeted improvements on how code enforcement matters for similar properties and identified, tracked, and resolved. These actions have already started and will include establishing a more proactive and data-driven approach to identify properties that may threaten residents' safety or quality of life, enhancing coordination and operational alignments across code enforcement, building, planning, and zoning to ensure timely, consistent, and effective enforcement. Updating our code of ordinance to allow for the special magistrate to act more swiftly in taking action when an unsafe structure is identified. Formalizing a communication protocol with Palm Beach County to ensure early notification of emerging issues, allowing for coordination, proactive intervention, rather than reactive responses. These are not conceptual ideas. They are actually steps already in progress, reflecting a deliberate shift towards stronger oversight and accountability. In addition, the city is preparing to pursue all available legal remedies against the property owner to the extent permitted by law. Property owners must be held accountable when their actions or inactions place residents at risk. We understand that the county is also interested in establishing a database that we will be following the progress of those actions. While I have been in this role for a short time, I have moved swiftly to access organizations and initiate corrective action. Even before officially starting, I made myself available for calls with county staff and local partners. I respectfully ask for your patience as we complete this work with the level of thoroughness it requires. Within the next 2 weeks, the city will present not only a history of actions taken, but also an action plan. I also want to acknowledge and sincerely thank Palm Beach County, our neighboring municipalities, including Belglade and South Bay, and the many agencies and leaders who responded with urgency and compassion. We are especially grateful to Mr. James Green, Ms. Tammy Fields, Mr. Jonathan Brown, and Mr. William Freeman of People on Purpose, who continued hands-on presence has provided stability and reassurance to those affected. We realize that this issue is not one limited to Pahokee. We are in the news today, but rather it represents a deeper issue of the need for decent, affordable, and safe housing. The City of Pahokee is committed to being proactive, accountable partners. We value our partnership with the Board of County Commissioners and look forward to continuing collaboration to protect the safety, stability, and well-being of all citizens of Pahokee. Thank you for your time and your continued support.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant, for coming down here and saying those words. If you don't mind, I can't imagine. It probably feels like you were thrown to the wolves day one. That's a tough situation, I think, for anyone. So I do appreciate the collaboration we've had to this point since last meeting and any updates, so on. But I do have a few questions.
Sure.
Have you presented any new ordinances to your board to pass as far as updating your codes?
We're working on those now. There are quite a few that need to be adjusted, so we are working on those now.
And I would love for our legal staff to also help assist so that we know that you have all the right tools and all the correct information going forward. We would love to help if you would be open to that.
Of course, there has already been so many hands of support, and we openly accepted them immediately. The plan is to establish a team of legal individuals so that we can make sure that we're going down the right path.
And putting those processes in place so we don't end up here again in the future.
Of course.
That would be amazing.
Of course, and we will keep you updated as well. So we are hoping to have the plan at least ready within 2 weeks. We've already completed the timeline, but we are reviewing those now to make sure everything that we need is in there, so those who have not been involved in the process on a continual basis will understand exactly what occurred and why it occurred.
I appreciate that so much, and we look forward to updates.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
1 second. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bryant, for being here and sharing those words. I can't imagine going onto a job and being, having a situation like this just as you're starting out and having to sort that all out. So really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
So thank you. I have a couple questions for staff.
Are you finished with Ms. Bryant?
Yeah.
Thank you
Just-
so much.
Just to add again, I am a resident of Pahokee. I was born in the Glades. I've lived in Pahokee since the 4th grade, and so returning there, I'm ready to offer all of my skills, my abilities to make sure that we're on the right track.
Thank you so much.
So I am invested in this process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I had a couple questions. Can you explain what Inclusify, the Inclusify program is?
Yes, sir. So Inclusify is one of our TA providers. They also provide loans. They used to be known as the Black Business Investment Corp, BBIC, but they provide lending and other supports to small businesses regardless of the ethnicity and background of that business owner.
Okay. And then the Center for, I assume, Technology, Enterprise, and Development, who is that group?
That is the TED Center located in the city of Delray. They also have a satellite office in the Glades area. And again, they provide TA as well as obviously the technology to help small businesses.
Okay, small businesses. Okay, great. And then, you know, in looking at the administration costs, it's 20%. I would ask, and I ask our administrator, I mean, we should be able to cut that down in half, I would think. I mean, I don't know why it would, if it's costing us this much to administer this, I mean, is there a reason why it's so expensive?
Yeah. So if I can share, so the HUD allows up to 20% for admin costs. Typically, when we go throughout a fiscal year, if we don't use all those admin costs, we roll it over next year into programmatic costs. So again, we haven't necessarily always used it, but we need to ensure we have the dollars available, not just for the staff costs or time related to the programs, but even project delivery costs on those other types of projects, home-funded projects. If we're doing construction, project delivery costs can be paid out of CDBG, although it's a different program. So again, we budget the allowable amount from HUD, but if we don't use it, we roll it over into program dollars in that following year.
So my follow-up question would then be is, last year, what was the administrative cost?
I'll have to confirm where we are in this existing year and where we are for last year. I'm not sure, but we can confirm that.
Okay, I would appreciate, and obviously copy everybody on the board with this.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you. I think Commissioner Weiss is on to something here. I was sort of thinking along the same lines. And my question is, he highlighted too, the Center for Tech and Inclusify. Are these competitive processes, or are we just selecting them because this is who we've done business in the past? And could we go out and put out an RFP and see what comes back? Because if we can, reduce that administrative cost, is more dollars that go out to the community. And we should, let's see what else is out there. So I don't know what the relationship has been with these two individuals, these two organizations, and for how long it has been. But, could we be more competitive in any way, shape, or form? I'm always open to competition and see what's out there, and then let's pick the best organization to partner with.
Yes, sir. So to answer your question, Commissioner, these have been organizations that the department has funded for a number of years, but can we compete? Absolutely. Based on the board's direction, we can put out an RFP to compete for those types of services.
And the ED direct services, what is that specifically?
The economic development program. So in terms of the small business assistance, or even anything that's economic development related, whether it's staff costs or whether it is the programmatic stuff, we are able to use those dollars for economic development. And that's what that basically is.
Is that like loan programs or?
Not necessarily loan programs, but they are more so the administrative related programs or the administrative related services that we provide from a county's perspective. So
the county keeps that $434,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I personally would be interested in having a competitive process to see how we can have the most impact. Thank you.
Yes, sir. If I can just follow up on that, would the board like us to go ahead and compete those for this year, or are you thinking future years, Commissioner?
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you. On to what Commissioner Flores is indicating. This allocation, the $100,000 and $250,000 for the Center for TED and Inclusify, of the $6.5 million, it looks like a drop in the bucket. do we have time? Would be if we were saying we wanted to compete for these this year, this roughly $350,000. Is that something that they have already been notified that they would receive? And how much of this is their budget?
They have submitted, great question, Commissioner. So they've submitted their requests and information to us. If we were to try and compete it, I don't anticipate we will be able to compete, bring back recommendations to you before the July deadline where we need to get the approval in order to submit it to HUD. But what that would mean is that although it wouldn't be in that particular July recommendation, we would just have to amend the action plan once the county approves it, once HUD approves it. So it would be some time down the line.
Okay. And I'll let the rest of the board opine, but it would be my opinion that if this is already something that's moving forward, maybe if they want to compete, putting it out next year so we're not impacting the budget. We're talking about $350,000, $100,000 of $6.5 million. My other question was, in the backup, it indicated that we were basing this off of the 6.609 from last year. Now we're looking at the 6.5. Has the allocation been? Is this current? So now the numbers are in?
Yes, sir. HUD recently provided us with the final allocation of numbers. And so that information came, I want to say, after the agenda item was prepared.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Brown. Under countywide public services, 15%. Other nonprofit activities, notice of funding, the NOFO, $245,000. Is there a breakdown that we would know about in that? And then also the $736,211 for Palm Beach County Homeless Services facilities. Those are larger numbers. Are those things that we should probably think about competing for as well? Who receives those fundings?
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. We will be presenting that breakdown in that competitive process in the next couple of slides.
Okay. I guess I don't have any further questions with regard to. Oh, never mind. It was already answered. That's it for this portion. Thank you.
Thank you. So continuing with the presentation, I will just add a couple of logistical notes based on the comments that I've heard. We will be returning to the board for the final approval of the final draft action plan. So in that, we can provide an analysis of where we are and work with our finance team to bring exactly where we are with the surplus funding. Periodically, you've probably noticed throughout the year, HED comes back with amendments, and that's usually to address any surplus funding that we identify. So we'll make sure we'll bring that to the July 7 meeting and updates on the economic development activities. The next 3 slides are dedicated to breaking down exactly what Commissioner Powell was referring to, the public services, the local municipality entitlements, and then the county capital improvement projects.
Excuse me, Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I want to go back to that previous slide.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry.
There we go.
This one, Commissioner?
Yeah. So, and I'm particularly focused on the economic development side of the house. I'm okay with the homeless services facilities and other nonprofits. I would like to figure out a way how we can decrease the cost of the administrative side. So I don't know, and I don't know if it's just through a competitive process or what, to find out what these people are actually going to charge us to administer these programs. That's one side of the house. In regarding to economic development, it accounts for 12%, which is a smaller portion of the $6.5 million. But in reality, the 2 programs that I brought up account for almost 45% of the $785,000. With those, I know that they've been providing the service for a while. is there reporting that they do for the county based on what they receive? How many businesses they've helped? What their administrative cost? Where is their impact going? What kind of businesses they're helping? I would like to get that data just to figure out, how much they're charging us for the administrative. Is it, 20% of the top and then everything else gets, and what's the impact in the community? I think this is an area where if we can help our small businesses continue to grow and enhance, keep local talent here, grow our local businesses, we should continue to promote that. So the other components, I'm good with, but I think that one is something we should definitely look at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Just following up on your comment, so you'll be bringing your plan back to us. This is the draft, as you stated. So when will it be coming back?
July 7th.
July 7th, okay.
And yes, these final allocations were enacted by HUD on April 3rd, which is why there are some edits in the presentation to reflect the exact numbers as opposed to estimates.
Thank you.
Commissioner, if I can add, Commissioner, we're coming to the board on the 7th because we have a deadline of August 15th to submit to the feds. So just getting ahead, since we're in the conversation right now, we're sort of stepping into next steps. So I'm just sharing that with you, sir.
Okay, so regarding public service nonprofit activities, our department does a competitive solicitation process for those every 3 years, and this year we were due, so we did that, launching the beginning of this calendar year. We received a total of 20 applications for roughly 250, which became $245,000 of the allocation. The selection committee included 5 Palm Beach County staff members, and all 20 responsive applications were scored and ranked. The top 7 here were in the top tier of scoring, which is how the selection committee then distributed the recommended allocations for those programs. Top scoring was legal aid, and the second top scoring was Vita Nova. Then there were three in the third tier: Adopt a Family, Aid to Victims of Domestic Abuse, Children's Case Management Organization that does a support project for kin that are supporting children, and the Florence Fuller Child Development Center, and finally the Lord's Place. So these are the local municipality project proposals. Every year the department works with these partner municipalities that have target areas that have been identified in the 5-year plan to get an application, and it is reviewed, and that is what you see on this slide here. On the very bottom in small print, I apologize for that, there are the 3 municipalities that opt to, instead of doing a project, they would like to allocate their funding to code compliance: Belglade, Pahokee, and South Bay.
And then, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, if I can add, we made one change to this particular slide from the original presentation that you had with regards to the City of Lake Worth Beach. We're waiting for them to resubmit a project that we could then present to you in the final action plan.
Third is the Palm Beach County Department requests. It was almost about $2 million allocated there based on the formula calculations. We are continuing the final work at the Lake Worth West Community Center with facilities development and operations. Similarly, Parks and Rec is concluding work in Phase 3 at Glades Pioneer Park Orange Bowl. And lastly, a new project is with the Water Utilities Department, designing and engineering all the work necessary for the Canal Point water main. Moving off of CDBG and onto the home and ESG grants, this is a comprehensive overview of how we have distributed or proposed distribution of the home funding allocation of 2.1 million. Again, all based on rules and regulations and compliance. Moving along to the Emergency Solutions Grant, we partner here with the Department of Community Services, and regarding their competitive process for the Notice of Funding Opportunity to execute these services, that just closed yesterday, and the selection committee will be meeting on May 7th. So we will have those final recommendations to you in the plan that is coming forward on July 7th.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alessandra. As I alluded to a little bit before, the final slide is just basically your next steps. This all has to conclude by the 15th. So as we've stated previously, we'll be coming to you on the 7th. You'll see the times that we go on the public meetings. And that basically concludes our presentation today. We're open for comments, questions, but it was just to bring you what we're thinking and seeking direction from the board at this point.
Thank you. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. On page 11 and 12, you show program administration. I think what you're hearing from the board right now is that we would like to see program administration reined in. As someone that's ran a nonprofit for 20 years, you know, program administration, you could look at it several different ways, but our cost should be less than 20%, which you had earlier. Here it says program administration 10% per regulation allowance. So I'm thinking 10% is about the number we should be at, not 20. And then if you go to the ESG, the program administration is tiny, but that's probably because we have not very little to do with it. So program administration is an important factor in all of this.
So, great point, Commissioner. Just a thought, if we're going to adjust program administration, then we're going to have to make a request for ad valorem funds to cover those costs. Typically, that's why we'll go through that program year, and whatever is left over, we roll it into the programs in the following year. As you can see, some of the costs, you know, CDBG is a higher cost because you can use admin in CDBG to cover these other programs. And it's not just the existing programs. You know, when we do affordability periods of 30 years, 50 years, it's ongoing monitoring of all those other projects that we've funded over the years as well. So it's not just the current year that admin is used for, it is all of the other previous years that we have to continue to monitor as well.
And one more question. Is there any, I'm noticing in all of the different proposals that District 1 isn't included anywhere. So is there an idea that you spread the money throughout the county, or does that even come up in a discussion?
You want me to take that?
Yeah.
Jim?
Because we've got lots of areas of need in the north end of the county.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner, my commissioner as well. But there is a formula allocation that's based on census data, and there aren't very many official target areas identified by the census and officialized by HUD in North County. But we do our best to stretch it and make sure that every area that is officially designated does receive a portion of the funding.
Thank you. By the way, I don't see us making any changes this year, but I think a competitive process for next year would be warranted. Thank you.
No more lights, so I will go. So I do agree, the administrative costs are high. And to Commissioner Marino's point, 10% seems to be more of a standard. Are we currently supplementing administrative costs?
Yes, ma'am. We're using the CDBG to supplement the administrative costs, which is why the ad valorem administrative cost from HED is not as high.
And could you explain that a little bit more in detail of exactly how that supplementation works?
Yes, ma'am. So CDBG admin can be used for any eligible CDBG activity. So from a staff perspective, all of the reviews, all of the follow-ups for the existing agencies that we've listed before, whether they're public service activities, whether they are the economic development activities, whether they are any of the other competitively completed projects, we staff, when we do our time cards, because HUD requires time cards, we have to document our time spent on any eligible CDBG activity.
So it's county staff that we are supplementing, so we're spending less ad valorem dollars?
Yes, Madam Mayor. It's like billable hours. We literally fill out timesheets, put the projects that we're on, how much time. One of the things that I'm looking at is how, including the director, myself, because we all have, the entire department plays a role in all of that. In lieu of what's happening with our budget process, we're very conscious of that, so we're examining where we can put some of that money to the federal.
No, and that makes a lot of sense. I just wanted to clarify that, so thank you. If we did happen to next year going forward enter into a competitive process, how would that affect our ability to use the CBD funds for our staff's time of working on these programs?
We can compete the dollars. The board directed us before to compete public service activities every 3 years.
Okay.
And so we do that. One of the things to note is that while we roll over the program administrative dollars we don't use into the next year, you're talking maybe 100, 200,000. It's, again, we try to tie all of our activities to block grants so we don't have a request on the ad valorem funds. So anything that's eligible, we use the grant to cover. Hence, again, we don't.
Keeping the ad valorem lower?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm in favor of trying to use as little of ad valorem as possible. So thank you for that. Were there any other comments or questions by the board on this project or this presentation? No? Anything more for us? All right, moving on then. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Sorry, I lost my voice. I'm here today, DCA Tracy Ellison, and our new division of the Employee Performance Management Systems, Tashana and Erica. And we're here to discuss the contractual employees process. We had performance reviews on the contractual employees contract, but it was requested for 360 reviews, and we want to discuss and finalize the 360 review process on who you'd like to have do that process, be a part of for each of the contractual employees, as well as the competencies that you would like. I listed on I gave documentation on the 5 competencies examples. It's not required to have the competencies, but we wanted to see if you wanted to tie in some of the goals with the competencies. So we added 5 examples that could tie into those competencies. We want to start to see if we are okay with the process for the anniversaries, the contract, the start date for each of the contractual employees as their anniversary date as well. And we'll take direction from the board on if they're okay with the process that was suggested.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
I think you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. This is the first time I'm seeing this, so I apologize.
It was the same document we met to discuss together.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not ready to really come out because I haven't studied it, so maybe I missed it, so I apologize. In regards to the 360, because I know it also covers employees under these individuals, how is that going to be? Are we going to take like a random sample? And I don't want these to also not be, I want to know exactly who is making comments. So are we going to do like 5, a sample of 5, 10? What are we?
So the direction would come from the commissioners to decide who they would like to have do the 360, whether an example would be for the county administrator, would it be his direct staff that reports to him? That was one of the suggestions. And you will all see those 360s. They won't see the 360 reviews. So that will be done in the system that the EPMS department is setting up. It sends out to them automatically, and they complete those, and then I provide those comments on all of those competencies from each of them.
Okay, but these individuals will have to identify themselves. It won't be blind, right?
Correct, because I'm sending to the ones that you've directed to send to.
Okay, and what are you guys thinking?
For the competencies?
No, for the feedback that we're going to collect, are we going to do like 5, or are we going to do 10?
That will be up to the commission.
What do you recommend?
I would recommend the direct reports.
Direct reports, but how many? To all of them?
Yes, so it would be for the county administrator, all of his DCAs, and then anyone that's not a DCA like Sherry Brown, and and it's same with the county attorney as well, his direct reports.
Okay, and the county attorney, how many direct reports would you have? 3? Is that sufficient?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'm with Commissioner Flores on this. No one has come to speak to me about this. So I would not feel comfortable today making a decision. I do have a question, though, on the, as you're doing the item C, staff is seeking direction on who will be assigned as the reviewers. So typically, obviously, 360s are done by other counties and other cities, and the formula is the direct reports?
Correct.
Anyone else besides the direct reports?
Not usually.
Okay, thank you.
And I mean, this is a workshop today, so did you have a presentation?
No, it was just, we would present, based on what you decide today, that's what's going to set the tone for the presentation on the competencies, the 360, and then we'll show the system and decide on how that would work from here.
And I think it's generally standard, we don't get briefed on workshops because it's the purpose of a workshop, or
Correct.
getting briefed on something.
Yes, I did meet with all the commissioners to just show the document. It was a very quick meeting.
Right, which I think I briefly remember
Yeah.
that as well. So I would just say going forward, I think it could be very useful, to have even a small presentation
Yes.
of the direction
Correct.
you're looking to head towards. Administrator Abruzzo, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to let the board know I've completely put a wall up between the DCA and myself. I haven't asked her questions, got involved. I told her when it started, do what you think best, meet with the board. So I haven't engaged in the process and or any direction or any weigh-in whatsoever regarding this matter. I also want to say thank you to Tracy. As you could hear in her voice, she was out yesterday, and you have to go home after this, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for bringing this back to us. Just to clarify my position on the who participates in the 360, I agree, should be all the direct reports, and it's not an unmanageable number, but I think it's important. They're the ones that have direct knowledge of their supervisor, if you will, and can help provide, I think, most important and meaningful feedback. I think anybody below that, it's not direct, and so it could be misaligned or misconstrued information as to it relates to the level above them. In regards to the competencies, and I know I guess we all had different conversations about this, but I'm good with the competencies that you all have prepared. I think they're broad, but yet they hit on, I think, the important points that we expect from our executive leaders in the county. So I'm sure there's always more, and more detail could be fleshed out, but on the other hand, you've got to, sort of, narrow it down as well. So I'm good with that, and I really appreciate the efforts that have gone into this, and and as we hopefully begin to roll this down further into the organization, the opportunities for improving performance, I think the county is really gonna benefit from. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I will admit that I did have a meeting with you all with regard to this. I don't want to, I know some people said they haven't had the meeting, but I did. So with that, I want to ask this question. We had talked about, Tracy, the idea that an employee should be 1 year in the position prior to being evaluated. And that's kind of in the backup. But I have a question related to that. How does that relate to commissioners? So, and this was something I was hoping that the entire board would be able to engage on. If I'm a new commissioner and I start in November, and a new, one of the 3 contractual employees starts.
The anniversary, December.
Their anniversary is 3 months or 6 months before I ever started. Do I evaluate that? How do we look at that? Is that something that comes to me for me to make a decision, or because we're getting a 360 from their direct reports? So how do I engage?
You would still get the 360s from the direct reports. You just probably would not comment on the performance itself, because each commissioner will still have to do their section as well. But at least you would see the responses from the direct reports.
So if I haven't been here for a year, is my ability to do a full evaluation impacted?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So as far as direct reports, I think that's a great idea moving forward. I like that. Were there other specific directions you were looking for from this board?
Not at this time, just the direction. If we're good with the anniversary dates as the start date of each contract, and the 360s direct reports, and then the competencies, that was pretty much it.
And do we have, I know we're doing a year reviews, annual reviews on anniversaries, to Commissioner Powell's point, but it made me think of something. When somebody is a new hire, are we doing any sort of like 90-day review so that we're not waiting a year to possibly give some critical feedback?
Do you mean for staff or for the contractual?
For staff in general,
Yes,
but
that
also,
will be a part of our process, correct?
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not waiting for, for that an entire year before they get any sort of
Yes, that's a part
feedback.
of the current process that we're putting together now. It's a 90-day review as well.
Perfect. That is all for me. So it looks like we have no other questions. So unless you have any for us.
That's it.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you.
We will move on to comments. Commissioner Weiss, do you have any comments?
I do. I would like to reappoint Deborah Chandler to the Infrastructure Surtax Oversight Committee. And I would like to request an off-site proclamation regarding Anthony's Clothing's 130th anniversary here in Palm Beach County. And, they are an iconic clothing store in Palm Beach County and West Palm Beach, and known for actually creating the so-called Palm Beach look. So
I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss for an off-site proclamation. I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
no other comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores, no comments. Commissioner Marino?
Well, I want to give a shout out to the fire folks for hosting us on a day on the Hill on Saturday. Joelle, Bobby, and myself participated. I'm the only one that rappelled off the building, I'm just saying, but the boys left. But it was a wonderful day, and thank you for showing us really the resources that you need in order to be successful in your job, because I think oftentimes when folks hear about budgets, they don't understand the resources necessary to do your job. So exposing us to that and making us an advocate, I think it was a good plan. So thank you very much for that. Other than that, I have no comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Powell?
I'd like to, first of all, thank you all for a good meeting. I'd like to have permission for an off-site proclamation, district appointment of Miss Kimberly Weston.
Hold on, Commissioner Powell. Are we doing an offsite proclamation or a
I'm
district
sorry.
appointment?
My mind was thinking something else, but my mouth was saying something different.
No worries.
Got to be careful. You got to engage both at the same time. I would like to ask for a district appointment of Ms. Kimberly Weston to the Palm Beach County Infrastructure Surtax Independent Citizen Review Oversight Committee. She's being reappointed, so I want to make that appointment. And then I would like to recognize over the weekend that myself, Commissioner Flores, and Commissioner Marino did participate in Fire Ops 101. When you see the amazing firefighter videos, you think, wow, this is great. I want to do that. And it's fun. But we only did it for, a few hours. I will remind you that it's hot in those firefighter outfits. It's heavy. But although I was able to run in mine, but it's an experience to just get, for a moment, an opportunity to see what our firefighters do every day. So I want to thank Chief Kennedy and the entire staff. Our other administrator was there, Tom. Why am I drawing a blank?
Nadler.
Thank you. My mouth and my mind are just, in any case, Tom Nadler, thank you. I don't drink caffeine. And thank you for that. The other thing I want to point out, I want to congratulate Ms. Bryant for becoming the Pahokee city manager. Congratulations. We've known each other for a while. I'm hoping and looking forward to you doing great things and us helping you to do those great things however we can. Yesterday, although we are separate entities, the legislature, the county commission, and our municipalities, the legislature released its redistricting map. And I don't know whether I was amazed or disappointed in what I saw, but I'm also at a point where we don't want to get partisan, but these governments impact us. We send our legislative affairs staff up to Tallahassee to fight for our appropriations and fight for policies that would impact Palm Beach County. And to see the congressional map that was released yesterday is disappointing. I would like to make sure that the people at home are paying attention, because everything we do is interchangeable, and at some point, we got to make sure that we're doing what's right. And there's always a time to do what's right. No further comments, Madam Mayor.
Vice Mayor Woodward?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to appoint Mark Wigder to the Infrastructure Surtax Oversight Committee, and that is all.
Commissioner Flores?
Mark Wigder. Thank you.
Commissioner Flores?
I think Commissioner Powell just brought something up that I'm glad that he brought up, which is the redistricting of the congressional maps. And wow, was I dumbfounded when I saw those maps. Technically, when I looked at my particular address, I would be having representation from out west. I have no idea how they would cover Palm Beach County or the western part of Palm Beach County and the other side of the state. So how do we have a legislative team, and I have concerns about these maps, and I would like to engage in the process because I don't think that these maps are going to do any justice to Palm Beach County. And I would like to see how we can engage moving forward. I think, I'm not very happy about these maps. So I would love for us to see how we can engage through the process. So Commissioner Powell, I thank you for bringing that up. It caught my eye. I actually heard from residents about how they felt, and I'm not excited about that. So, and by the way, firefighters, I completely forgot when we were going down the commissioner comments, but I had a great time. A lot of key leaders in the community were out there learning about what the firefighters do, the service that they provide when they show up to the scenes, and the amazing work that they do. So if you haven't had an opportunity to do that, I strongly encourage you to do that. And to our firefighters, thank you so much.
Commissioner Flores, are you making a motion to have our governmental staff do something?
I would like to engage with them, have conversations about how we can move, how we can be part of the process. I'm not giving direction at this time.
Thank you. Administrator Abruzzo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would be happy to have our Legislative Affairs team make a presentation on the maps if they are adopted, or possibly before they're adopted at the special session. I would need a majority vote from the board to have a position, especially on this matter. So happy to engage with this, and Commissioner Flores, of course, anything you need from us, and obviously you are all individually, that's your prerogative how you advocate pro or con against the maps. Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam Mayor.
Administrator. Lastly, I have a few comments. I would like to give everyone a quick reminder that we are doing an off-site second chance proclamation ceremony in Belglade this Thursday. So if you're available, please come. I would also like to thank our community partners, including Palm Beach County's Community Services, but also Representative Meg Weinberger's office and Senator Gail Harrell for helping rehouse and partnering with us on funding and resources to get those 40 families that we were able to get rehomed in Pahokee. So thank you so much for your partnership in that. I would also like to request a off-site proclamation in recognition of Mother's Day, if I could get a motion. I have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward, a second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. I thank you for that. And we have a groundbreaking that is going on for a new elementary school in the city of Westlake this Thursday. That will take place at Persimmon Boulevard and Green Lane. So thank you to Mayor J.P. O'Connor and the school board member, Marcia Andrews, for your leadership and commitment to this. Having a new elementary school will be amazing for the kids and their parents. And lastly, I would like to invite everyone to help pray for Commissioner Marino's parents. It has been a tough time. She has said I've heard her entire time in this seat. And so if we could just please say a prayer for them, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and everyone have a blessed day. Sweet corn fiesta that happened this last Sunday. And I am happy to say he helped participate in one of the most amazing fiestas that we have in District 6, and he made me look really bad. He beat me in a corn shucking contest, and to my knowledge, that's the first time he's ever participated in one. And he did so amazing, and I just want to say congratulations and thank you for participating in something that means so much to us. Have a great one. And Administrator Abruzzo, if you could please finish.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just wanted to briefly update the board and thank Chief Deputy Pat Rutter, County Attorney David Oddie, Laura Beebe, and several members of her team. We went up to Washington, D.C. last Wednesday to meet with 12 management level or higher heads of the FAA to work with us on grants for Palm Beach County, or PBI. So I just wanted to let you know that the meetings went well. They're really working with us hand in hand, and we anticipate a good relationship moving forward. And if there's any questions, I'm available. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
With that, we're definitely adjourned this time.